Hi everybody! So today I am sharing with you some project pages, and I've always kind of done project pages in my own way. I just haven't really realized it until I started doing more bullet journal stuff. And every time I've posted one on Instagram, I've gotten questions on how I make my project pages, what's it for, that kind of stuff. So this is a video going all the way back to my first bullet journal that I've been wanting to make for a while. So in this video I'll be just sharing my different project pages, since they don't really have to be for projects. They can really be inserts too. So I'll tell you what I mean. So I'm kind of going over project/insert pages, and to me project pages are they're really helpful for school projects, especially since I'm an art major. For those different projects and commissions, those are really nice to have for those. Even for my photography class, it's a really helpful tool. And then even for studying, it helps. So I'm just going to start with my first bullet journal for now, and go through the different ones I made in this ruled one. Let's see, where's my first one? Okay, so this was from October 2016, and in this one, this was for my 3D design class. This is where I had to build this out of I built it out of masking tape, paper mache, and Mod Podge, and paint. So pretty much in this, I wrote what the project was. So it was an in the round sculpture. I just made a random title. It was for my 3D design class, and it was a project. And it's an in the round sculpture. I made a list of materials I would probably have to buy or find, and then these were the different steps I figured out I had to take in order to get it to look like this. And this just kind of helped me keep on track, and I eventually made more 3D design project pages that ended up looking a lot better and were a lot more efficient, because they had multiple baby steps more than this, and a lot better sketch and just other stuff I added to it. So this is my first sort of project page that I actually made in a bullet journal. And this helped a ton, especially I'm finding I'm a more visual person than I thought I was. Like, everything has to be visual for me now in order to, like, understand or figure out what I need to do. So this helped a lot with that. And then my second one, okay, so this is sort of personal but not really, so I guess it's okay if I share things. So this was for a commission I did for my uncle's girlfriend, and it was a watercolor elephant, and it turned out really well. And over here I have materials. I have my rate I charged her at. I had my time tracker where I put every single time I worked on it. I wrote down the date, the time range, so 1:30 to 2:30 or 1 to 7, whatever. And I added up all of my different hours. Whenever I was done, I looked at how many materials I used up. So I used one Copic marker all the way through. I didn't use colored pencils or watercolors. I pretty much just listed all these and then just reviewed what I used. And then I figured out the shipping cost of, like, the envelope, and then just the cost of shipping itself, since I was shipping it to a different state. And then over here are notes from the project, just for my own reference to look back on, like what went wrong, what I liked, what I didn't like, what was going on that day, that kind of stuff. That's pretty much just for me. But this was really helpful for me to get this sort of just visual of everything that was going on during that time, and knowing that I knew what I was charging and how I could tell her, oh, it's this much because of this, it's this much because of this. And it was just a lot more organized and a lot better, in my opinion, than just guessing. This is another 3D design project page. So I had to carve this out of a foam block. And I did, and I hated it. It didn't turn out any way that I wanted it to. It was a lot harder than I thought, but I sort of looked at the project sheet he gave us and figured out, okay, well, I have to sketch my idea first. So I did that, crossed it off. I carved away the big areas one day, crossed it off. I marked out the details, made myself aware of where stuff was going to go, because it was a reduction piece. Is that what it's called? I don't remember, but so yeah, it was originally going to be coral reef, but I switched it to mushrooms because coral reef was going to be way too hard. I tried to make it fun, camouflage. And then I had the due date down here, which kept me looking at it and made me not forget when it was due. And then I tried notes over here again, but I wasn't as personal with this. I didn't like the project, so I just ended up not doing that many notes like I did with this one. Another kind of project page I made was for Christmas. So I made a Christmas list of all the people I wanted to try and buy for. I ended up not being able to buy for that many people last year, so a lot of this fell through, but this was just another way to keep myself organized on what I knew I wanted to get people, what I knew I had to save up for, how much I was about to spend, and it gave me a limit as to how much I was going to spend on each person. So this is one page, this is the next page, and then I even gave myself a places to look. Whether that's, my college's bookstore, Walmart, Hobby Lobby, Amazon, whatever, I gave myself places to look in case I couldn't find it somewhere else. So this really helped me keep organized during the busy Christmas season because of finals and stuff. It was crazy. This is what I would call an insert page, sort of. So insert pages to me are pages that would go within my dashboard or within my week. But since I planned all my weeks beforehand, I put this after everything else. So this was a study binge list that I made for Sunday and Monday. This was right before finals. And Amelia came over for like 2 days and we just studied. And I needed a list to keep me on track on what I was working on. And pretty much it made me write down what I needed to get done so that way I would remember and I would commit to it. So over here I have, work on my mushroom sculpture, take notes, do a quiz online to help me remember to update my bullet journal, do my Lab 8 write-up, pendulum trials for Lab 8, look at my biology study guides, and test my Instax camera, which I did. I actually did these. These are actually the bookmarks I was using up here. And then Monday, I finished up those things I had to either migrate or what I had over there already. So this is just a way to keep organized during school, especially, or if you just need a quick list on what you need to get done that day. If I know I'm going to have a busy day, what I would call an insert page is what's going to be coming up soon. So I'll explain that a little bit later. This is what I would call an insert page as well, but it's also a project page at the same time, so it's interchangeable. So I explained this a little bit in my December Plan With Me video, and this is my finals prep page. So I had all 3 of my classes listed, and for each class I wanted to get certain things done to prep for the finals. So of course I'm putting this on the week before finals, and it makes sense to do that because, so I guess that one wasn't before finals then. I thought it was. Oh well. I put this on the week before finals because it's prep. It's not like what finals are when, it's what I need to do to study for those finals. So for these finals, I had certain things I wanted to get done or certain things I wanted to study especially, and I just wrote those things here. I wrote down when it was, where it was, that kind of stuff. And it makes sense to put it here because that way, I have this week, then the next week is finals week, and I've already studied for a week for these finals, and it's benefited me a lot more to do it this way than it would have been if I would have put the insert page right here, because I had already had a week's worth of note-taking and prep for those finals. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, ask me in the comments. I'm sure I can explain it a little better there. So those were all the different project pages I had in 2016 that I made. So I'll go ahead and go on to my new bullet journal, which I've mentioned before is a A5 orange Leuchtturm 1917. And I haven't made that many. I'm thinking I made more than I have. So this was the first one I made in my Leuchtturm. So obviously the dot grid really helped with making this because I have so many squares going on. So for this project, for my digital photography class, I had to take 10 different subjects, which are these headers, take 10 photos each in those, and then have 3 different exposures. So I ended up taking close to 300 photos. I didn't actually get to all 300, but I don't think he noticed, so I'm okay with that. This was just a good way for me to keep track of what photos I knew belonged in which categories, because there were some that could have fit in 2, and I didn't want to accidentally add that one to both and then end up being way more behind than I thought I was. So this just helped me figure out which photos I took were in which category, and it helped me remember how many exposures I had taken of each and which folder they should go in whenever I turn it in. So it was really nice for that too. And a lot of mine are usually for school, but these can also be personal projects, things for work, that kind of stuff. I have so many different project pages in my Mary Kay bullet journal as well. They're mostly just goals, like a goal page or a sales thermometer kind of thing, but they're still projects and they're still goals that I'm setting, so I still count them as that. This next one I made was for a children's literature project. I had to take 4 Caldecott winning books and do art critiques over them in a paper form, and it ended up being like a 14-page paper. So I was really grateful for this, because this way I was able to look and be like, okay, I did this, I did this, I did this, okay, now I need to work on this. So pretty much this just was a checklist, but I made it look pretty. That's pretty much what my project pages are. They're just a prettier version of a checklist. These are also for my photography class. This was for the midterm, so I didn't have everything listed here. These are the main subjects I had to hit on for the midterm. There were separate little subjects for each one of these. So for example, basic parts of a camera was I think it was a pentaprism, lens, etc., that kind of stuff. Anyway, so pretty much the basic checklist. For my current project I'm working on for photography is a photo genre project. So as you can see, I have 2 subjects that I have to photograph. I have to do different kinds of portraits and different kinds of still lives. Underneath each of those, I have the ones that have been listed that I need to shoot for sure for my project. And then in the notes section, I have ideas on what I could do for those separate ones. For example, the no context portrait, I took pictures of Austin's hands that were, greasy from work because he's a mechanic. So I thought that would be a cool picture. So I did that, and I gave myself a little check mark knowing that one is finished. Down here I have notes from the project page that he actually gave us. This is pretty much just a rewrite of what that said, just so I could focus on just these 2 and not all the other gobbledygook that was on there. And also the notes down here are just telling me the requirements I need for the project. So I have to do basic edits in Lightroom for them. I can't photo shoot on campus. I can't take boring photos. I need to save them as a DNG, what I need to save it as for the folder when I turn it in, and what each subfolder needs to be, and then I need to print them out. So just little extra steps I needed to take to make sure that I knew what I was doing with them. And I would consider this a project page because it is a project, and then this one I would almost consider an insert rather than a project, because it's technically not a project, it's just me studying, but again, it can interchange depending on how you feel it is. And this is that personal thing I was telling you about. So this is a bullet journal YouTube ideas collection I've made, and this is a personal project of mine. This is making videos for this new channel, and this is just ideas that I've written for myself that I want to try and get done. I'm hoping to do a lot of filming in the same day, so if you see the same sweater, it's because of that. But this is pretty much just the video ideas that I want to get done for the project, which is my YouTube channel, and then I also have a website for my bullet journaling that I'm also making, that I may make a spread for. I haven't really decided yet. It's not really that big of a deal, to make a spread about it, but my YouTube to me is. And these, again, are just ideas, so I can keep on track and not stray too far off of what I'm wanting to get done. And this one is actually number 2, so glad I can get this done because I've been wanting to make this video for a really long time. So this is what I would consider a project page 2. This is just a chapter tracker for Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I've done a tracker like this for every single one of the Harry Potter books I've read, so I couldn't just not have one for Goblet of Fire, even though I'm not very far on it and it's been a while. So this is another kind of project page I would consider a project. I could also see it as an insert maybe, but probably more of a project than insert in my opinion. Now this is an insert for me. So this is in between my weeks. So this one's not inked in yet, but it's in between my weeks here. And I put it within the week that it's happening. So this is on the 24th and 25th. And instead of making just 2 daily pages for it and having to make weird weeks, I just made the whole week and then put this behind it so I knew what was going on that day. So this is the itinerary for that training event that I'm going to. I have a packing list down here, and I'm eventually going to put other information on here that I'm going to need to know whenever new information is given. So this is just for me, for my own knowledge, pretty much. And this is going to help me out probably because I'm going to bring all of my bullet journal stuff to the hotel that we'll be staying in. And it's really going to help me be on time to things because there's a lot happening on this second day compared to this first day. This first day, I don't have to be there until 7 o'clock at night. Technically, I think. Pretty sure. Anyway. But yeah, I think that's all the project pages I have. I don't think I have any more in here. Well, so that's all I think I can show you guys. It's the only projects I think I can think of that I would show you guys. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to subscribe for more bullet journal videos. This channel is specifically for bullet journaling. There will be no art, there will be nothing like that, unless it's for bullet journal related things or Happy Mail or something like that. Pretty much bullet journal, stationery, Happy Mail, that's all that's going to be on here. And when you subscribe, there's a little bell next to it. If you want to go ahead and hit that bell, it'll give you a notification every time I upload. And if you want to click that like button if you like this video, it'll help with search results. For me, it'll help you find my video faster, especially since you don't realize how many videos you watch until you try and find one in your history. And be sure if you have any questions or comments, please comment down below. I love reading your comments. It makes my day. And I think that's about it. I'll see you guys later. Bye!